Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to Chairman Carter and Ranking Member DeGette, and thank you to all of our witnesses today for your testimony. I was struck at the beginning of this hearing when Chairman Carter said that the true reason that we're having this hearing today is because of a sad and difficult story about one patient and their experience with delayed access to the drugs and the care that they needed. And that is the true reason that we're here doing this work, but that's not the true reason we're having this hearing today. And I want to associate myself with the comments that Ranking Member DeGette made. The true reason that we are here is because in December of last year, Elon Musk decided that he thought our bill, our continuing resolution, was too big. It had 1,500 pages or something like that. Too big, can't possibly all be good. Don't do it. And just like that, years of hard work, including hard work to deal with this very issue, got cast aside. And so we're having a hearing today on something we've already agreed on, we've already worked on, and we have already addressed. It's important that we do it, so I'm glad that we're continuing the work. But I think that what we know is that we've got an agreement here. Commercial market PBM transparency was in the agreement we had in December. Part D delinking and transparency was in the agreement. A ban on spread pricing in Medicaid was in the agreement. We have already made an agreement on this, and the only reason it isn't law is Elon Musk. I think that is important for everyone here to know. I think that is important for everyone in this country to know. This committee and this Congress has consistently allowed Elon Musk to substitute his own uninformed judgment for all of ours, and it's got to stop. It has got to stop. So instead of rehashing some of these reforms that we've already agreed on, I want to spend the time that I have left talking about and asking about the budget resolution that House Republicans passed last night that directs this committee, the Energy and Commerce Committee, to cut a minimum of $880 billion out of spending. Now, we heard time and again yesterday in our markup that we weren't going to get to cuts to Medicaid because Medicaid wasn't in that budget resolution. We know on this committee that that is where that money, it's the only place it can come from. So, Mr. Wright, in your testimony, you made it very clear that threatening access to coverage like Medicaid would increase costs for families far more than any PBM abuses. And I want to ask you to take some time to talk to us about the importance of Medicaid coverage, especially on an issue that's very important for those of us in Texas, as well as people across the country, the importance of Medicaid coverage for pregnant women, which Medicaid covers 50% of births in Texas. Can you talk about what the impacts of losing Medicaid coverage in Texas and states across the country will mean?
I mean, obviously it would have devastating ripples throughout the healthcare system, and not just for the people who do have Medicaid coverage, but for the system as a whole. In many of, whether it's community clinics or rural hospitals, in many cases, Medicaid is the biggest funding source. And so if you're in that community, if those institutions get hit with a big cut, that impacts everybody in the community, whether or not you're in Medicaid specifically. If a maternity ward, which already has we've seen closures already of, if they lose funding, and again, 40–50% of births are paid for by Medicaid. If they lose that funding, that actually could potentially mean the closure of a maternity ward for everybody in that area, creating further maternity deserts in our country at a time when folks are talking about how can we better support parents, how can we better support the process of people starting a family. And so it is incredibly important, and just not, both the prenatal and postpartum care is so important. Those first few years of life are probably the best investment you can make in terms of a child's health, not just for that time, for into their life. That's when brain development happens, and there's reams of data and research that suggests that those kind of investments some of the best investments you can make. But if you have a cut of the scale that is being talked about, it's almost impossible to think how those will not be impacted.
Thank you so much. I have gone over my time. I do have some more questions for you, so I'm going to submit them for the record and look forward to hearing your responses. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman. I yield back.